Rick Steiner, who was hit during the attack by the Nasty Boys with a laceration on that left eye. You gotta wonder, is there a little bit of a visual impairment for Rick Steiner heading into this match? Well, as you can see, Scotty Steiner gonna start this thing off for the U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Steiners. And for the Midnight Express, beautiful Bobby Eaton gonna kick things off. Right now, it's Eaton who sent Scotty. But Scott Steiner able to shift the weight. And across the ring, nice hip toss by Steiner. Got caught off guard there. Was beautiful Bobby Eaton. Sometimes it's the early things like that that can start to get in your head. Here comes the collar and elbow tie-up. Some clubbing blows and cheap shots from Bobby Eaton. Oh, nice leap. But gets caught. Oh, and great counter by Scott Steiner into a single leg crab. He's got the single leg. And the official telling Scotty to break the hold because of that rope break. And Sweet Stan Lane comes into the ring. He wasn't too pleased at that. However, the thing is, there's a reason that Scott and Rick Steiner are the U.S. Tag Team Champions. They know the rules. They know what they can work around. Cornette trying to lead the charge for the Midnight Express. Having a word with Bobby Eaton. Perhaps strategizing on how to approach the Steiners. And Sweet Stan Lane comes into the ring. Meanwhile, on the outside of the ring is where the action between the two legal men in this match is, as Scott Steiner sends Eaton into the steel ring post. And Bobby Eaton desperately needing to make this tag. And here come the clubbing blows from Scott Steiner. And set across the ring. And a good collision that worked out for beautiful Bobby Eaton. That is exactly what Bobby Eaton needed. As Scott Steiner was starting to pick up momentum, you look at the build of Scott Steiner, an incredible amateur background in wrestling, and has really translated into the sport of pro wrestling. And look at this reversal. He's got Bobby Eaton up on his shoulders. And there it is. The Bulldog off the top. The dogs are barking. We've got a couple of unpredictable badasses. And we will be right back on TBS. We are back live here, World Championship Wrestling on TBS, with the U.S. Tag Team titles on the line. Scotty and Rick Steiner defending against beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane, with Jim Cornette in their corner, the Midnight Express. Nice snapmare there by Scott Steiner on Sweet Stan Lane, who was finally able to get himself in the match. And back in the ring is beautiful Bobby, driving Eaton into the mat. Going off after that shoulder is Scotty. Up and over. Counter. Nice scoop slam. And there's one. And one for everybody. Perhaps more than one. A bunch of scoop slams. And bulldozing through is Rick Steiner as the crowd is barking. This is the kind of action you can only get here at World Championship Wrestling. Tomorrow night we will be live in the Omni in Atlanta. But tonight, it's about the U.S. Tag Team titles between two of the very best that tag team wrestling has to offer. Stan Lane realized he was in deep trouble. A fired up Rick Steiner is not a Rick Steiner you want to deal with. If I'm not mistaken, Stan Lane is the legal man in this match. But Eaton taunting Rick Steiner, and you know, the more you mess around, it's like an intruder going and breaking into somebody's home and then finding the bulldog right there, finding that pit bull. You don't mess with him. Rick Steiner is that pit bull. And Stan Lane back and just gets ran through by Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner has the number on Stan Lane right now. The blind tag has been made. Did not realize that the tag was made. He finds out now. And there it is. Eats a bulldog of his own from Bobby Eaton. Beautiful Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane are as tough as can be inside the squared circle. Such a unique team. And the tag made, keeping the fresh man in the ring. Another shot. Here comes the quick pace of Sweet Stan Lane. Nice kick. Right on the money of Rick Steiner. Oh, nice back elbow. And the tag's been made to Bobby. Perhaps the Midnight Express is on their way to capturing the U.S. tag titles once more. The Midnights have won titles wherever they've been. And Cornette with the tennis racket to the midsection of Rick Steiner. And the ref saw none of it. That's that X factor in this match. That is the true difference maker, is Jim Cornette and that tennis racket of his. Oh. Belly to belly slamming Bobby Eaton. The arms were trapped. And both men are down. Who is going to make the tag first? And there's the tag. The tag's been made to Scotty. Scott Steiner clearing house on the Midnight Express. A true contest on what it means to be the tag team champions. Oh, getting knocked off the apron is Rick Steiner by Stan Lane. Meanwhile, the real action is going on in the ring. The legal action between Scott Steiner and Bobby Eaton. The realization as Scott Steiner just found out what's going on. And it may have just cost him that split distraction of realizing what was going on to his brother Rick on the outside. And Scott's being the one that's being laid out. And the tag has been made. We could be on our way here on TBS to seeing new U.S. World Tag Team titles. Well, U.S. Tag titles. Champions, should I say. We're seeing so much action. I'm almost flustered at the athleticism by both of these teams on how far these two teams are willing to go to outbest the other. Meanwhile, the leg is hooked on Scott Steiner. But look, you see that Rick Steiner starting to pull himself up in the corner. And beautiful Bobby goes right after the arm of Scott Steiner. And another hook of the leg. And once more, Scott Steiner stays alive. Oh, look at this. Nice counter up and turns Bobby inside out. Nice power bomb counter. A desperate tag is needed. Rick Steiner's back up and good to go. Oh! Uh-oh. Stan Lane made the mistake earlier of going after Rick. And now an angered Rick Steiner is the legal man. This dog-faced gremlin. And now all four men in action. Oh, the ref didn't see it. And another shot. This time it was as clear as day on the skull. Bobby's got all of it. Oh! Oh my God! That was clocked right on the skull. And somehow, some way. Oh! Steiner line. And the Steiners have retained. The U.S. Tag Team Championships are still in the grasps, on the grip of Scott and Rick the Steiners. You saw the Steiner line at the end. You saw the Steiner line at the end. It was the one thing, the one difference maker. The tennis racket wasn't quite enough. And nonetheless, the Steiner brothers are still the U.S. Tag Team Champions.